here I am with my story of not how I came, saw, and conquered, but of how I thought I was never there. But then I started seeing things, and finally I realized that I had already conquered. And just to talk about a little bit of confidence that I have, this is a photograph of a three-wheeler, and it says, "Dam hai to paas kar, varna bardasht kar," which actually means that if you have the guts, you overtake it, and otherwise you just live with it. But this kind of confidence wasn't always there. You know, for most of my life, I had sucked at jobs. That was me at jobs, at work, bored and distracted. And this is me at everything else. I'm super active. I have leadership qualities. I'm always ready to, go for it and just do it attitude. But at jobs, the thing that paid my bills, I totally sucked. I was like, my bosses are always complaining. I had erratic timings. I had productivity issues. Sometimes I would have mood swings in the office. My interpersonal skills with my colleagues were not good enough. So I was like, okay, how do I deal with the situation? I quit. So I kept quitting jobs. I kept switching jobs every time there was issues. And it went on for 10 years, almost like that. It had been a long search for that perfect man, for that perfect job, that dream job which could hold my hand and, be there with me through thick and thin till retirement do us part. And in this search, I had done a couple of things, a whole lot of things I've done. Been a lawyer, worked in India's first call centers, not first, one of the first. Worked as a lawyer, as a corporate law researcher, as a gender rights and women rights researcher, and then for a few more years, shuttling between MNCs and non-profits. The perfect man or the job I never found. But I did find was magic. Somewhere in 2005, that was early 2005, 6 years back, I found a wonderful thing of free communication called blogging. This was just like phenomenal. This is something so new and so amazing. I was like, okay, I could say things to the whole world without going into the newspapers, television, radio, without writing a book, without making a film, without doing any of these, media-related or traditional media-related activities. I could just say whatever the damn thing that I wanted to write down, and anybody in the world could just read it. This blogging thing was just phenomenal for me. It just happened by chance. I just picked up blogging one fine day. I heard it from somewhere. And so it was like, it was totally magical. And then what I did is, what it could do for me. I was like totally hooked on to blogging. And then I also started looking at the world with this new found, thing, and what all blogging as a medium was holding for us, the opportunities it created, the freedom of, what it could do for our freedom of expression, one of the most important human rights, what it could do for social communication. For the next 6 years, my life completely changed. From being the distracted monkey, I suddenly was this cool person, a very popular blogger, been written about in the media, talking at seminars, unconferences, blog camps, bar camps. I did a couple of my own things like Blogalorians, Blogathon. I attended the Global Voices Summit. And then, using blogging and social media as a platform for social development, some of the initiatives like at the time of when the Mangalore pub incident happened where women were attacked because they were in the pub, we did this free hug campaign in Bangalore. All of these were activities where I was just gathering people, the entire community of bloggers in various cities of Delhi and Bangalore, and sort of using this medium. And so, life had completely changed, and I was like suddenly happening. Everybody admired me and followed me and all of that. So it all was cool, but these were not paying my bills. So the job search had to go on, obviously. And then in September 2009, I thought that I had found my dream job. I call it my dream job because it involved blogging for a women's rights organization, Bell Bajar. I handled the community and internet outreach for that campaign. And this was like a killer combo for me, blogging, women's rights, and non-profit. I thought, oh God, I found my dream job. I gave my 100% commitment, and this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, at least for like 5 years. My idea of commitment is like that. Okay. So I said, okay, great. This time I think it was forever. I mean, have enough of jobs and whatever you call it, relationships and other things with jobs. I was disappointed, obviously, heartbroken. I was like, something is terribly wrong with me. This had got to be about me. It's not about the organizations that I work for or my bosses, but something, I must be a loser. Something is terribly wrong about me. So yeah, it was very upsetting, and I was unsure about the next steps that I have to take. But then I'm also I'm a moderately ambitious person, and it's one of my ambitions to be world famous in India. So I thought that feeling like a loser is not going to help, so I have to do something of my own, start something of my own. Entrepreneurship was the word in my head, so I have to become an entrepreneur. Maybe it's the same way other people's life could also be changed if only I take this as a resource, blogging as a platform, social communication as a resource to other people and give it to them, and perhaps their lives would change. So I just wanted to I wanted to take social communication, social media as a resource out of this presently it's being used by the young urban techies in India. I wanted to take it out of this bracket, and that's how Samyukta Media was born. There are two concerns in a progressing society when there are new resources coming. Access to that resource and inclusivity of all classes are the two major issues that we face with. By making social media simple and sustainable, I try to address these two issues. And I just will quickly say a small thing here that I just came to. It's very impromptu. Somebody in the audience here, a very nice lady, had written a nice poem for the speakers today. And she was showing it to me, and she said she just wished that she could, show it to everybody, and everybody could read it. And but she was kind of reluctant, like, would I be able to get to the stage and say it? And I was thinking that within this group of 100 people, there is an issue. There's a question of whether I would be heard or not. And immediately I was thinking that if she would just open a Facebook account, and we all are on Facebook, she would put it up on her Facebook, tag us with our names, we would definitely be able to see that, and the whole world would be able to see what she has written. This is where my story sort of, for the time being, it's the end. It's like they lived happily ever after because she's found a dream job, which is now running her social enterprise. You'll have a sequel whether they did live happily ever after or not. Samyukta Media. It had its own roadblocks, but the question is, success story. How do I know that I'm successful? Is my definition of success. The Law of Success 2.0 is a research done by one researcher from Japan called Mr. Hejwan Kim, and he asked me this question, what is success for me? And I said that success for me has three important components. One is that your work is able to sustain you and your family. You are happy doing it, you're not sulking at your job, and it makes a difference, and I mean a direct difference. It's not that I earn and I pay the taxes, so I'm making a difference. No, it's your work, your life is making a direct difference, some little small way. Okay, and I realized this is for me is success, and at the same time, this is also the definition or the components that includes that are into social entrepreneurship. You're doing something that is sustaining. You're not doing charity. You're sustaining yourself. You are passionate about the work that you're doing, and you're also making a difference. This was social entrepreneurship, and this was also the definition of success for me. So the bottom line is that I was already successful the day I decided to become a social entrepreneur. So that was a great revelation for me. I was already a successful person. The few learnings that I have learned, I'll just quickly take you through from being in my road, from being a distracted monkey to a cool social entrepreneur. If you want to help the poor people, charities and donations, this has been said before by one speaker, charities and donations can only do so much. The poor really, what they really need is access to the resources they want at affordable prices, because they really want to just earn a living and earn the life that they deserve. This woman, we would come across beggars in this, like somebody said, beggars in the city who are far more able in their body, physically fit, than this lady that you see here. But this lady is not begging. She's still trying to earn her living and not live on charity. You have to find a dark spot to be able to glow. You find out new areas in terms of geographically and also in terms of subject. Keep looking for darker areas where nobody has ventured before, so that you have a better, you glow. Don't get distracted by the goodies that your competitors have. It's very hard to compete, and it's not always necessary to compete. Find your own niche. That's important. And don't be a grumpy Santa Claus. You cannot keep doing work for free because you're trying to make a difference, because you're becoming a social entrepreneur. Profits are important. Do work for, and I say that even when I do work for free, but do it only when you're very comfortable and you're very happy about what you're doing. And that's the last slide. Finally, I think selflessness is really a myth, unless you're like Mother Teresa or something. I mean, social entrepreneurship is not so much about selfless love for others. I think it's, at least to me, it's more about a natural path to, self-discovery, natural path to finding my own soul satisfaction, my own happiness. Just to bring a reference to a literary character, Don Quixote, he somehow wanted to save somebody from something, albeit fictitious. He didn't know what it was. He lived in his own imagination. But he was always trying to save people. He was trying to always be the hero. So I believe there's a little bit of Quixote in everybody who is trying to be a social entrepreneur, and that's a good thing. And I wish you all the best for your future, and we hope that we would have a lot of social entrepreneurs from this group. Thanks a lot.